Morph map. Let's go. Let's go. Morph map, making moves, making morphs. Mark the morphs, track the traits, map the path. Mix them, match them, mastermind the morph flow. Mapping bloodlines, making clutches grow. Morph map, making moves, making morphs. Mark the morphs, track the traits, map the path. Mix them, match them, mastermind the morph flow. Mapping bloodlines, making clutches grow. Morph map.
Hey guys, episode 2 Morph Map here with Brian from Heathen Hatchery. Hey, how you doing?
I forgot to turn my phone off, so it was playing double. I'm sorry.
No, you had that reverb. You had the remix going. No worries, no worries, no worries. Did you happen to see that at Tenley somebody may have gotten a monsoon female stolen?
I did see that. I did see that. Here we go again.
I know. I missed if there was any updates or anything because I've been getting ready to do this because, you know.
It was pinstripe monsoon, I believe, right?
I don't know. I saw it and I didn't see pinstripe, but I didn't check it. I know that it was Jim's stuff plague, I believe, had it taken, it said.
I'm seeing in the comments that it was recovered.
Oh, was it? Wow, that was fast. That's awesome. That's awesome. Cool. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us today. We're going to be going over the Malice gene today with Ash from Morph Minded. It's a dinker gene that he's done quite a bit of work on, and I am pretty fascinated with the project. So hopefully you guys are too. We just go ahead and bring him out, and we can let him tell some of the story here. Introduce himself.
I can't.
You can get him. There he is.
What's up, y'all?
What's up, man?
Ash, how you doing?
How y'all doing?
Doing well, doing well. How about yourself?
Good. Here to talk some Malice, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like how long you've been breeding. What projects are you working other than Malice, if any? Now, I'm sure it's taken over a lot of your collection at this point.
I've been a hobbyist for 22 years.
Okay.
My oldest snake is turning 22 years next month.
Oh, you still have it?
Yes,
that's really cool.
Yes.
What is she?
Honey. She's a normal, super normal,
just a normal
classic.
Honey the normal.
Yeah.
Just super classic.
Normal. You know, I've been breeding for, you know, I guess 14 or 15, just as a hobbyist, you know, nothing crazy. Then I found Tri-Stripe, you know.
Okay.
I fell in love with Tri-Stripe.
Yeah.
Yes. And you know, from there, I guess that's when I got more project oriented.
Okay.
And Ian from Outback Reptiles, shout out to Big Brother. He's been mentoring me for some years. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
So he's the gentleman that brings, you know, I would say up to a third of these genes that we mess with from the wild here. You know, he's the gentleman that's responsible for that.
And has been for some time.
I mean, the list is long.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very long. Pause.
Yeah.
So you know, so you know, that's you know, ended up getting the Malice. You know, I saw it one day. He had a wild Reg. What up? I saw he had a wild shipment come in. I saw the Malice off on the side in a container and some solution. He said he was gonna keep it, and I basically said, no, you're not. Here we are today, 4 years later.
All right. So, Brian, you want to bring up the picture of the original girl? I think that's our first slide. We can take a look at her.
Absolutely.
So, I can kind of see what drew you to her, but what was it that you thought when you saw her?
Well, I like the granity animals.
Okay. That's
From
been
being with
something you.
Ian for hmm?
Okay.
Yep, from being with Ian for quite some time, I've noticed that the animals from Benin and Togo have a more granity look, and
Mm-hmm.
I like those better. In ball pythons, we often don't talk about locales, but when
Right.
you see these wild animals, as much as some people do, you begin to see that we
Mm-hmm.
actually do have locales.
Okay.
Um, so that was a granity animal that caught my eye, and it was a
Okay.
female, and she was
Mm-hmm.
gravid.
Oh, okay. So she
Um,
was gravid when you got her. All
I
right.
yes,
There's a
mean,
couple of
yes.
other pictures we can
I
probably
would
see of her.
say
I think there's
granite
two
is an
more.
understatement.
That's like, yeah, granite in all caps. In all
On
caps.
steroids.
Yep, that's her. She even has a couple of scars on her.
Okay.
No
Um,
kidding.
Doesn't have really anything that's not disrupted, it seems like, and from her dorsal to all the way down. What's her belly like?
um, Clear. It's a clear
Okay.
belly. The normal,
Okay.
typical, look like a special, or you know.
Okay. Okay.
mm,
And so this was her first clutch. How long after you got her did she lay this clutch?
She laid that clutch less than a fortnight after I got her in my
A
possession.
fortnight is
Well, I
4
think it was
days,
like
right?
10 days. Fortnight is 14 days, 2 weeks.
14 days. Thank
Um,
you. I was
yes.
not. I'm like 4 days.
No,
I'm
my
like,
bad.
you're
But
fine.
so
I'm
yeah,
learning
I
more
think
than the snake
she
stuff.
no, I think she laid her eggs like 10 days after
All right.
I got her.
All
And
right.
those,
So
Solid.
that's
So
a
it
that's her
looks.
clutch from
right
the
there.
wild.
hmm
That's
Her
cool.
dad is somewhere out there, hopefully alive. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
yeah, she
Yeah.
was
So it looks like
gravid.
you got a few, and then a little slug there. So
Fuck yeah.
how many hatched
Oh, there
out?
you go.
That's your
Two.
clutch. So it looks you had two of what you're calling Malice now hatch out of the clutch, and the other two were classics.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Um,
And did you hold back those also, or just the Malice?
the one of them did not survive. One of
Okay.
them, no, it was just a super normal, and
Mm-hmm,
Aw,
I got rid of it.
Okay.
Um,
Gotcha.
that's ridiculous,
so
even looking in the egg.
Mm-hmm.
it is.
Mm-hmm.
It is. So that's the male. That's the captive hatched male. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Captive
So
hatched is a term that we used to use back in the day.
so that's basically like now your main source animal. Like the female, you're still breeding her, correct? Or no?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Okay. Okay. But otherwise, most of the work is coming in through that boy.
Yes. And
Okay.
also she gave me a girl. So it was a
Okay.
boy and a girl.
Okay. Let's take a
The
look at
the
them. I
boy
think we have
looked
a
a little
picture of both
more
of them.
radical.
There we
So
go. There they
that's
are
the boy.
on the
He
right,
looked a bit. No, actually,
right?
that's both the same animal.
It
hmm
is?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
I thought that was the
Positive.
boy and the girl. That was my fault.
Mm-mm. No, you
We're
good. You're good.
Look
scroll
at the
back.
flaming on these things.
Yeah. So basically when you
All
have
right.
the head stamp on those animals, those first two animals was mostly just a lot of blushing. There wasn't like a specific head stamp that we could like point to, correct? Like it was mostly just
No.
blushing. I think we
Uh-uh.
have a picture of those too. Um,
Yep. So
oh,
that
back.
on the
I
left
think it's
hand
back
side,
one.
that's him
I'm
closest to
sorry.
Okay.
the egg.
Okay.
On the right hand side, that's him a little larger.
Okay. Okay. And so like
Um.
at this point, everything's kind of looking obviously the same within reason from those two
Yep.
babies, right?
Yep.
Okay.
But different than the mom. As we can,
Mm-hmm.
to me, looks
Yeah.
different than the mom.
It seems
um.
like they have a little more dorsal, like a little more solid dorsal than mom did.
Yeah,
mhm,
I'd say that
mhm.
for sure.
Yeah.
Also, something that we learned way back, way back in the day. I think Kevin
I got a picture
McCurley
of the
said it.
dorsal here.
Yeah.
Is that
Go ahead.
so those are the ones from this past season.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Kevin McCurley said that animals that were born in the wild do not look like animals that are you know, once they're bred in captivity, they look different. They have a different look to them. So those people who did that back in the day would know that way better than us, who have been told be scared of wilds and all of these sort of things. You understand?
Yeah.
So what's weird to me is that I'm looking at a wild animal who gave me a captive hatched animal, and then now
Mm-hmm.
I have captive hatched animal who is giving me animals in captivity.
Right.
So the look is a little bit different in my eyes.
Well, would that be because we are hatching them in captivity, or would that be because we're putting them to captive bloodlines that have been selected for different things over time?
I like to think part of it is because the animals in the wild need to be more camouflage.
Okay.
So, you know, they're not going to be as bright
Mm-hmm.
in the wild as they are in captivity. I doubt that the bananas that came in the first one was a bright gold speckled animal. It was probably dirty and
Mm.
brownie looking. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure.
I've never
Um,
seen it, so I wouldn't be able to speak on that.
We talked about a theory of genes stabilizing over time.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit. Like, because like just over time, that's over like time and selection, right?
Yeah.
I would think so.
So you've been putting in a lot of work yourself, and you have a couple other people working the project with you.
Yes,
And what
I
are
have.
you guys' oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I have brother Reggie,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Reggie's Urban Jungle.
Yep.
Shout out to him. Um, man, he's, you know, I've known Reggie since before this, since before I've had Tri Strike. You know what I mean?
There you go. That's the
Nice.
people you want
Shout
in
out to
early.
bro.
Yeah.
And then I have the biggest homie, as I like to call him, Levance. Straight
Okay.
fire reptiles.
Okay.
Nice.
Um, I asked him for some help. I needed some help with this thing, as we all know, dinkers can be a handful. Um,
Absolutely.
especially what this thing is giving me. And so, you
Mm-hmm.
know, Levance has a good brain, good, he thinks different. So, you know, I need that, you know.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I don't see any of those guys even trying to exploit the project, but carry it further.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, those
exactly.
guys are totally project oriented. What are we gonna
Yeah.
do? How are we gonna do it? You
Yep.
know,
That's
and
great.
I'm the same way, you know.
So yeah, so now you guys are more of a team, which makes it probably easier on you, because I'm sure it's easy to get overwhelmed with like trying to make all the pairings, try to hit all the incomplete dominance, and then adding, your recessives in. It's just a lot of work.
People say
Space.
that, to be honest. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I hear people say, you know, having a dinker gene, you need a rack for it. But I see a lot of people with a rack of clowns. I see a lot of
Yeah.
Yeah.
people with a rack of pieds. I see a
Yeah.
lot of people with a rack of DGs. I see a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people with a rack of banana. You know what I'm saying? So
Hey,
I'm not
Patricia.
scared. You know what I'm saying? I'm not scared of it.
Yeah.
That's what it
I'm
comes down
I'm
to me.
I'm more or less saying that, like, when I feel like when you have, or if I had a dinker gene specifically, if I had a dinker gene, my goal would be to try to see what it looks like in as many incomplete dominants as possible before anybody else gets it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So not only just so I can know what it looks like, but also so I can compare it to other genes that may look similar, right? So we can say, okay, well, they may look similar in single form, but now I have this combo and we're putting these two together and we can clearly see a difference.
Mhm, I agree.
So I'm sure that you're doing that. So are there any genes that you are currently trying to like compare against, or prove out against, or
Yeah,
anything of that nature?
rule them out.
I mean,
Rule them out. Yeah.
you know, there's, you know, I feel like people loosely use the granite word.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like granite is another word for I don't know what the hell it is. You know, um, you know, anything that has a lot of freckles in it, people use the word granite. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
so I just feel like there are a few people, you know, that chose to explore those granites. For years, especially when you've been in this thing as long as I have, you hear people say this is a granite clown, this is a granite blob. The word granite's
Yeah.
been here since, since. So nobody's ever explored these things. All right, well, I'll do it. I'll pick mine. You got yours?
Yeah.
Okay, I got mine.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So have you done any comparisons to any of the other quote unquote granite genes that look similar or could be possibly seen as looking similar, such as like Cosmos or anything of that nature?
So I looked at like a Cosmos. I think I saw a Cosmos yellow belly het clown. I saw a Bambino yellow belly het clown.
Okay.
And I know what mine looks like with a yellow belly and a het clown. So to I guess the small group of us that have Cosmoses or Bambinos or Malices, we'll be able to see the difference. Like I can see a big difference in mine. Mine looks like there are people holding things up and people stretching, doing yoga. You know what
It's
I
the
mean?
party
I don't
people.
see that.
It's the party
That's
people.
what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you might have a picture of it. So
I absolutely. We're going to get to it because we're going to go through those pictures because you gave me a lot of pictures, and I'm sure we'll probably get into stuff. You might want to pull some stuff out later that maybe
causing malice.
Do what? Yeah, the little malice people.
I named it that for a reason. Trust me. Trust me.
Nice.
Out to cause trouble. All right, so we got on the next slide. It looks like we have some. I think this is the original boy in some pairings. So it looks like we're doing some hypo pairings, some clown pied pairings, some acid pairings. We're doing all kinds of stuff. You guys are all over the place with it.
We as you know, with a new gene, you have to, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And these are this year's pairings.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
A couple of those might be gravid right now.
Okay, solid.
Oh, okay.
That's fine. Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Clown pied too.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
yes, sir.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
Get me some cryptic. There it is. All right. now we're into some combos. Boom, just like that. Brian hooked us up with a new picture. So this one, we talked about these two. This is a Mojave Malice and a chocolate Mojave Malice. Are these clutch mates?
Yes, they are.
Okay. And what kind of put you to thinking one had chocolate? I mean, they're obviously look different, but what was your thought on your ID process? Because those are some pretty blown out animals, right? There's like not a lot of pattern left. There's pattern, but it's not recognizable to me.
Yeah, no, it's really easy to tell when you know the mother. Mom's like 15 years old. She's a Mojave chocolate, old line chocolate.
Okay. Is it Garcia?
Yeah, no, that. Man, I don't remember the name. Don't get me wrong.
Okay, that's fine.
But that's definitely the mom on the left minus chocolate.
Okay.
I mean, I can really see it easy. It's very easy to see.
Okay. All right.
It's surprising me that the snake on the left has changed color like 3 times, I will say.
Has it gotten darker or lighter?
It got darker and then it's coming back light again. Remember the old bazooka grape gum? Like when you chewed it for a long time, it had that like weird purple color, grayish hue to it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like turning that color right now. It's weird.
Do you have it on hand? Can we see it? Do you have it? Is she in shed like they always like to be when you want to show them to people? Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. She's a very odd color. That's really cool. I like that. Yep. Awesome. Yeah, so she kind of darkened up. When she darkened up, did her whole pattern darken up, like including the light spots or no?
Okay. Literally her everything.
Okay.
Man, it just destroys the pattern.
Yeah, it just ate it. That's all. But I think that's the bell genes, right? When we get them into that, we get that kind of thing going on. It's really pretty. The next one I think we have up is pretty sick. I don't remember which one it is though. Oh yeah, this one. This is a different bell combo though, right? So that's what I found really interesting is that we had those bell combos, which one was just your Mojave, right, Malice, and now this is a different bell combo, but doesn't have. It looks completely different. Like, is that something that like blew you out of the water when you saw it?
So yes, remember I'm the guy with a small collection, right? So I tend not to lean toward the cypresses and the spot noses and the animals that you have to avoid putting them together because you know.
Yeah.
So
you don't want to make white snakes.
Is just
you don't
one of
make
the
supers.
exactly. So this is just one of the bell complexes that won't make white snakes. That's all.
Okay.
With the malice.
Okay, so it just ended up making it just a little bit different. Like, well, not a little bit, a lot of bit different.
It's just that pattern is just crazy. It just kills it right out.
So do you feel like at this point that you're starting to see like that side of the house where you kind of have that more defined, less like broken up kind of pattern? And more of this kind of more defined pattern that we just saw in this last one, or is it kind of depend on the pairing at this point? Oh, there's a question for you also.
All right. Well, I've noticed that there are two different types of patterns and colors in this thing. I'm investigating it now.
Okay.
I guess that's part of the reason why we, call these things dinkers.
Yeah, you got to do the work and find out, right?
We do. Like my homie right there says, why are people quick to dismiss someone's dinker? And then we have genes that are past dinkers. Like in our group, we call them things that are in the gas stage, like the gene advancement stage. Like people are quick to call my gene a dinker because none of the big names have it. It's not on Morph Market. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. But I put in a lot of work with this gene, and respectfully, I've got more time in this game than most of the people that I know.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when what's up?
Not only that, I feel like the work that you're put in is like obvious, like the photos that you've sent me and stuff. I'm seeing the animals that are produced, and it's not like a lot of times I feel like a dinker is like this stage where we're not sure what it's going to do. It's before the first clutch or it's before the first two clutches to like prove that mom or dad can actually like make a difference, right? I think we're past that, right? Because I mean, like we're past like obviously there's something there. It's not like, I wonder if it's there, obviously it's there.
So we call it the gas. We call it like basically we look at it as we have our foot on the metal, on the gas, a gene advancement stage, and it's a gene. Whether people want to acknowledge it or not, I'm not gonna put it back in the wild. It's not going anywhere. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. All right. Brian, you have any questions?
I got a lot of questions.
Let's hear you.
What's up?
So when you started putting in the work, obviously it seems like it was deliberate. Were you targeting any special genes you wanted to see with it first?
So I honestly, I was targeting good genetics. When I say good genetics, I told you I have a 20-year-old animal over there, 22. I have 16-year-old, 15-year-old, 13, 12. So as a hobbyist, those are the animals that I learned with. I made all my mistakes with. I kept them too hot, too cold, heat rock, tanks, all sorts of stuff. And they're still here to tell the story. So I put my malice in those animals because I know they're good eaters. They're tanks. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I hear certain genes that are out there today, and I hear, well, this one doesn't eat well, that one doesn't eat well. I don't want to hear that about my gene in 10 years. So I feel like I put that work in now. You understand what I'm saying? So that was the first thing I thought about, brother.
So it wasn't gene specific, it was more just better genetics.
I love that, honestly, because I feel like that's something that people don't really think about. And we were talking about that earlier today on the group chat, is that robustness of the animals. You know, like somebody will just take an animal because it has a certain gene in it and like breed it, and it'll be clinging on to the edges of life, but they'll breed it because it has that gene, and then expect the babies to do well. And we were like, hey, that's kind of counterintuitive. There's like other work other than just, you know, what something looks like. So I really love that you've done that work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Putting in the work.
Hell yeah. And in more than one way, right? So that's great.
Yeah.
I love that.
So like when you, I mean, it's obviously why you picked this gene when you saw it, right? So when you started like basically breeding it with other things, did you expect the results you got, or you just didn't know what was going to happen? Like, did you know that gene was going to transfer? You felt it like in your bones or soul or whatever you want to call it?
I feel like I was blessed to get a gravid female. They gave me the proof off the rip. So immediately she gave me a copy of her and a copy of her that I thought looked way better than her. You know what I mean? So without me even doing anything, I knew it was genetic. So I grew the boy up and I put him to work. The first year, I made the mistake of putting him to 3 females that were all too young. One of them went. I saw what was a butter malice crawl out of the egg, and it died. Then so the following year is what made me put the malice to all of my tanks. I said, I'm not going to make that mistake again. It's not going to a girl that's 24 months, that's 22 months, that's 1,500 grams, 1,400 grams. You're going to girls that's 2,400 grams, 20 years. You know what I mean? It was just a different thought. And now those things are bitey, feisty, you know, animals. And I feel like it's going to be for the greater good, you know?
Yeah, I think so too.
How was the temperament on the gravid female?
She's bad. I don't mess with her now. I don't mess with her now, bro. Yeah, she's
not at all.
Yeah, and I don't mess with her too much, bro. And also, it took me a while to get her acclimated after she laid those eggs.
Okay.
She didn't eat Norwegians. She didn't eat mice or ASFs. She ate hamsters.
Oh no.
And for the first 3 years, she only ate about 8 hamsters. So I moved this past year in June, and I was like, this chick's gonna die. And I am in the room that I am now, never had windows in the shop that I was at before. And I put her in a sea serpent's tub where you could see through it. And I threw a mouse in there one day and she ate it. And another mouse. And I'm like, she's a snake from the wild. Maybe she needs the sun. You know what I mean? She's from West Africa. Maybe she needs the sun like I do. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
No, that was my next question, is how she ate afterwards.
Yeah.
She's great now. She's off food now.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. Want to see some more incomplete combos?
Heck yeah, let's check them out. Because some of them are like this really, like, I was like, oh, okay, that was not what I expected, but here we are. So this is a GHA Calico Malice, right?
GHI Calico Inky
Malice. All right. Inky also.
Yes.
Okay. And the Inky is giving it that kind of orange cast?
That one, you know, so that's one of the things about this one. I have one that I know has Inky in it, and it looks different than that one. I think that this is that dark light thing that's floating around in my malice, to be honest.
Okay. Okay, so you might
So
think that that's the light gene causing that there instead of the inchy, because the light gene. We got some light gene stuff coming up. I think I wanted to do some ink doms and then bring up some. I wanted to kind of like stay in the same lane. I didn't realize that was a light gene animal. So
I'm just going in
however
order.
you do it,
yeah,
it
that's
don't
great.
matter.
No, that's great. That's the order I stuck them in. Sometimes
Okay.
it's hard when you're making a order. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here you go. This is Orange Dream only in Malice, right? Which I freaking love this animal. I love this animal. I was not expecting that at all.
It's very
Like
dark.
very
That's-
dark.
That's a very nice shade of orange.
I know Brian likes it.
Yeah, for sure.
Brian's like, it says orange, I'll take it.
Well, I mean, look at it. Look at the tones.
It didn't look on.
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous. It's amazing. Imagine that in hypo.
Mhm.
I love it so much. Oh, here we go. How long does it have to be in the gas stage before expansion to others? I think that's in regards to your gene specifically.
Yes. Okay. Well, as far as the gene advancement stage, I feel like right now I am advancing it. You know what I mean? Like you may see some things that Levance is doing with it. You know I'm showing what I'm doing with it. You know, I'm an open book, you know.
Yeah. Which I think is also good because people can follow along your project. And I think that you know, along with the recognition of seeing the gene and seeing the changes, like with the different incomplete dominants, being an open book kind of makes it more like people have some sense of not ownership, but some sense of ownership. And like if they wanted to get into the project, they feel like they've watched it on its come up.
I like
that's mine.
He
says that's mine.
I like the whole. Oh yeah,
is that the one he's talking about?
I think he was talking about the Orange Dream one. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure.
He knows the Orange Dream one is a boy, and I haven't been using them or nothing like that, you know. So
that's Reggie doesn't know you're giving me that one yet. That's okay.
I'm gonna pull up a few more here.
What's up? Yeah, so now we're in just pastel Malice.
So that girl I look at is we're making pastel great again. Yes. That is
absolutely
just pastel.
Both the arms, because you got to wait for the next one, because that's
like that. So there's work to be done with that. That makes me think of what would it look like in DG? What would it look like in DG hypo? You know, that's snake.
For sure.
With that DG cleaner look.
And are all the pastels that you've come up with so far, do they all have that like extreme blushing on the dorsal like that, like where it's almost the same color as the alien heads?
Yeah, and one
I
of
use
them
the alien
that I
head
never
keyhole
show
thing loosely here because
it is pretty wild how it's all uniform through the whole top and sides.
Yeah, it's like 1 to 2 shades. Like it's not that much different because it's so highly blushed, which I think is why that like when you look into that Orange Dream one, like that blushing was rolling through and really bringing those coppery oranges all the way through the whole snake. So what else we got, Brian?
That's from a pastel that's 15 years old. It's still yellow. There goes that yellow belly.
That's
Malice.
yellow belly Malice. Isn't that insane?
That's incredibly insane.
Now, would you say, Ash, that this one is more on the side of like where you're seeing more of the arms coming up kind of guys on this one versus the kind of, I don't know what to call it other than like bread loaf style, like where it looks like sourdough slices with all the holes in it.
It's just such a wild interaction.
It really is.
I'm proud of that one.
I would never guess that that's a 2 gene combo.
Insane, right?
Like ever would guess
it's
that.
so funny because like I really like out of all the ones I've seen, I like that one a whole lot. I like the darkness of the gene too, because I'm a sucker.
But they call that a dinker. It's a dinker, y'all. You know what I mean?
Hey,
that's a ding.
Well, yeah. Well, one day you'll breed it to something, and you'll really be able to tell that it's there, and we'll pick up on it then.
Do you what line of Exantic do you work?
VPI.
Gotcha.
VPI, all in the tri-stripe. VPI.
This is the same
Yeah,
yellow belly.
Yes,
I believe so,
yes. Look at the
yes.
people. Look like they're
Man.
people reaching
Yeah,
up in the
yeah.
air. Like
They're having
know?
a party because they're like, hell yeah, check out this snake.
Causing
look
malice.
at all the C's on the back. Look at all of the, it's
Little
crazy.
bubbles. And it really, the other thing that got me about this one, because I think that when I was on the phone with you looking through these, I had asked you if this was just yellow belly, because I was like, that point on the back of the head reminds me of spot nose, and you said there's no spot nose in that pairing. So
Right.
I thought that was really interesting there. It has the blushing like the original ones do, but it has that additional little point there like a spot nose combo does on the back of its head. So I found that really interesting.
Only one spot nose in my collection. Nope.
He said nope.
We're gonna get into some of my favorite.
Here comes Brian's favorites. Here it is. So this is Malice Orange Dream Calico, right?
Yes.
Man, it's not so much the overwhelming effect on this one.
Yeah. But you can definitely tell.
Oh yeah,
you can definitely
100%.
tell. It's got the it's turned it into basically like teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really pretty. I think there's another slide next one that shows both of them a little bit closer. Yeah, there we go.
Oh wow.
So these two, when did these ones come about? These are how old now?
Probably about 6 months or 7 months, something like that.
6 months or 7 months. So they look bigger than that in the picture. You got those magical growing snakes over there.
Did you feed just mice?
No, I give them whatever they want.
Okay.
Literally, I do rats, mice, or ASFs.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'll feed them whatever.
Each to me has a different advantage. I don't, I think it's, I can't, I don't, it's a different topic. But yeah, I don't see how people put a lot of weight on their animals with just ASFs or just mice. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
So move on to this Malice Light Dinker slide.
Yeah. So this is something that came out. When did this come out? Because this was probably a surprise to you because this was something completely different.
So that animal on the left, I noticed it was just had a crazy head pattern and it was very light. And I'm like, that's just something weird about these lighter ones and these darker ones. And I think that's the lighter one with the lighter ones, and that one in the egg is a different animal than the one on the left. And it also has that, what I call that lighter gene in it. And you can see the head, it's clearly not a normal.
And it's a very different head stamp from the other Malice animals too. It's completely different. I made it.
Sorry, Clubhouse people. What's up, y'all?
Yeah, this is why I have to cover up the chat, because if I saw it rolling, I'd just be like watching it the whole time. So yeah, that was something very surprising though when I was looking at it and talking to you about it, was the head stamp completely different. Now, has this light gene, when did this happen, and has it come out of more than one pairing, like from the same animal?
Yes.
Okay.
So even in some of the GHI pictures that you may have, you'll see it. If you knew, like I knew, the picture with the two orange dream calico Malice animals, you'll see it in those two side by side. The one on the left is a lighter orange. The one on the right is a more bold orange.
We could go back to them if you wanted to.
The same thing with the GHIs. There's a darker one, there's a lighter one. There, I don't know if you got those.
Go that way.
Oh, sorry,
Brian. It's okay. I'm trying to help.
Which one?
You're talking about the GHIs one, the calicos. Please.
Even those. That one has a darker one. That's a more bold one, and you may have a more light one also.
Next one more. Beep.
Yep.
There you go. So you're saying that which one of these two are you saying is the lighter gene? Because
so the animal on the left. You'll see that one is a lighter. It's a different orange than the one on the right.
Yes.
More like a peach orange.
Mm-hmm. I think you can see it the most like towards the bottom almost, honestly.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
And you can see the two tails, but there's a lighter version and then there's a darker version. And they're both Malices.
And actually in the top and on the one on the left also, that we can't see it very well, but it has some crazy blushing going through the top of it too, that the darker one on the right doesn't have the blushing in the dorsal as much. It doesn't look like. So
something going on there.
So when did that first pop out? What was the pairing? If you don't mind my asking, of course.
Nah, you good. It was it came from one of those old girls that I have, and I noticed one of them babies came out light, and I said I'm gonna keep it. It was a girl, still growing her up. She's probably like 1,200 grams or something, and you know, I've just been separating them like light, dark, light, dark, light, dark.
Okay.
I hope it's a het hiding that I'm gonna find, you know.
So that came out of the original boy then to somebody else.
Actually, he's passing on everything. Everything that's funky is coming from one boy.
Okay, I didn't know how many pairings deep we were at this point. I didn't know if we had moved on to pairing any of his sons or anything yet.
I refused to use any of his sons because I didn't want to confuse anything.
That's fair, and that's smart.
Going on.
Yeah, it's already becoming a lot with the light and the dark and the and the two different
as somebody
looks.
That's kind of new to this, and and I admit that. Could it when you get the lightness of the other, could that be a subtle gene separating itself from the original?
Sure. The way I feel, it could be a subtle gene. It could be a het. Once I put the light one to the light one, and something pops out that we've never seen before, I've oftentimes wondered, in all of these dinker things that I like to go find and look at, and coming from the wild from Ian, the one thing that I really wish that I could contribute to this hobby is finding a recessive. I wish that I could find a recessive. That can't be an easy feat.
You might find it in those light ones. You never know.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I mean, head to head is 1 in 4, so it's still a lot of work to do, even to try to get to that point.
And none of the light ones are like het for clown or anything else that might lighten them up or anything of that nature that you know of.
That first one that you saw that was on the left was het for nothing.
Okay.
The one on the right, which had a super head stamp, that was het for hypo. And I see the light dark thing, whether they're het or non-het.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
We got another example. I can pull that up too.
Yeah, let's take a look. I tried to get as many examples as possible.
Oh yeah.
And so these kind of go back to almost like that thing I was talking about, like where we have like the bread loaf pictures, like it looks like a slice of bread, but now we're missing all the holes, like all the holes from the. So
these are not Malices, right? These are just funny looking animals, what I would call dinkers, that came from the Malice
project. So these are not named yet. Until you do some more work on them, they're just going to be like another line of something you're going to be working. Fair enough.
The one on the right definitely has more of a granite look to it.
Yes.
Oh yeah, because it still has some of the little holes there. Okay.
That was the head hypo, actually.
Okay.
But it's still kind of floating, like on the one on the left, it's still floating the keyholes or alien eyes up to the top, almost like you would think of like if you were looking at like a het tri-stripe or something of that nature, like where it kind of elongates it and floats it up towards the top there, which is really interesting. Is that something you're seeing across the board?
Yes.
Okay, because even I noticed even the one that has the smaller ones, they're floated up too. They're not as dramatic, but they're definitely still floated up towards the top of that space there. And I think we have one more of the light gene. There we go.
So I'm gonna make a comparison right here.
Yep.
So this animal that you're looking at is the same as the one that you saw before that we were talking about with the Bell complex.
And it does look like pattern wise the same except
Yeah.
the color. Yeah.
This one's the
So
lighter one.
Yeah.
The other one is the more bold color.
This one almost looks like a DG light version of the other one.
Yeah, it's super light.
Yeah,
You see,
it's super light, and I wouldn't say it's like clean because it's definitely got some dirt in it, but it's like it's granity dirt, not like gray dirt. It's like very light and nice and continuity all the way
you
through
still
in the
see
color. I feel
people
like.
reaching up, right?
Yep,
You
the people
still
are
see
reaching up. It's
in
time to
some
party.
cases it's circles, right?
It's time to
Right.
party. What's your thoughts on people
And
who feel like the Malice or any new gene not being legitimate until a big breeder's behind it?
well, I like that question. You know, people, there are a few of us out there that are trying to prove that wrong. You know,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Levance is a big name. I wouldn't call him a big breeder. You know, I wouldn't really don't want to call him a big name. It's just that like he's around us. You know what I mean? So, but no, I really go to, I'm trying to create a whole new vibe, a whole
Mm-hmm.
new lane. For
Mm-hmm.
those people that are project oriented people,
Mm-hmm.
I want to try to create a way in which we can get projects, right? And some people call them investment projects, right?
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of us, by the time we get into those investment projects, there's not much investment left, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest about this.
Right, because you're
Okay.
already bred out. They've already bred ahead of you.
Yeah.
So in my case, I said I like processes. You know what I mean? So like
Mm-hmm.
I like the new genes. I like the whole being near Ian and things coming from the wild, and I respect what it took for those animals to get there. I respect the hunters, the relationships with those people to get those animals to here. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying? So because I see that a little bit more, I feel like my whole outlook is a little bit different. You understand what I'm
Okay.
saying? I
Yeah.
feel like the hobby needs more genetics. I feel like the hobby needs more blood from the wild, you know. So I'm on a mission, and that's my mission. That's my mission. Some of us and Dinker Squad, you know, there's a lot of us out there that's doing that,
Hashtag.
and
Yeah.
we're not scared to do that work. Somebody got to do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody got to do it,
Yeah.
right? All right.
Yeah.
Well, you're looking at one of them. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's fair. It's fair. So go ahead, Brian.
You touched earlier, and I want to make sure that we definitely get the info on this, on why you named it Malice.
Oh man, because of some of the things that we've talked about today. You know, using the word dinker, it coming from a person that I'm a very unorthodox person. I don't do morph market. I don't do all of that glam and glitz stuff on Instagram. That's not my style. Um, I'll do reptile shows. I'm with my man Ian, Outback Reptiles, and I like to see people face to face. I like to talk to hobbyists, and you know, would you do it for the love? Like I'm one of the
Mm-hmm.
people that do this without making a dollar for it because I love this shit. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? A lot of the people out there that are saying this and that, they ain't gonna do it for the love. They don't love it like me. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're right.
That's why I named it Malice. For all of those reasons, man. It's gonna cause a little controversy. There's a few genes that are out there that are granity that the bigger names may have. I'm nobody, but my gene is badass and it got a story to tell.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. So are you like, there has been whispers of being compared to other genes. How do you feel about that?
I don't You know what I mean? I've seen it.
We're just
You know what I mean? Like,
stuff, right?
yeah, like I mean, I've heard, you know, what Hurricane and Trick and Blitz and Banana and Coral Glow and different types of yellow bellies, chocolates and ravens and mahoganies and the other ones. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this ain't the first time that we're gonna be. You understand what I'm saying? So maybe it's the fact that it's, like I said, from a person that doesn't have a name or something, from a person that's, you know, and I'm all for it, man.
Yeah.
Well, really, at the end of the day, I don't think, like, even if we compared the genes, we can't say that they can't say that it is their gene or it is the same gene, because you got it from the wild and you have proof of that. So
Exactly.
it's literally a different animal that it was sourced from. So I mean, there's no real question there, you know. Proofs in the pudding. You got photographs, you got a history, you got all that. So
Well, and there's no question of where it came from. It came from
exactly.
Oh man,
Exactly.
I know it came from Benin. You know what I'm saying? It came from Benin. You know, I know that much about it. You know.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Another question is, have you paired for a super?
Maybe.
Okay. Next question.
How about that?
So maybe you paired for a super. I didn't know if maybe you might have a super or something like that I have.
There might be one out there. There might be with, like,
it's possible.
So the mom, she's on her second round. You know what I'm saying? But remember, I said she had a daughter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I've had the Malice 4 years in February.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So we're in our 4th year of hard work.
Yeah.
And the first year didn't give me anything. You know what I'm saying? So
okay. Fair.
But it's definitely got a buzz about it. A lot of people talking about it now.
Cool,
for
man.
real.
Hopefully it speaks for itself. You know what I mean? I'm not in the convincing business. You know what
visually,
I'm saying?
I would say the proof is in the pudding 100%.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think there's convincing be happening. Yeah, no. I've definitely seen people say I have a gene, and then I look at it and they're like pointing to like the tiniest little thing, they're like, see, there it is. I'm like, yeah, I can see that, but like, are you sure?
But it's got tracks.
Are you sure?
But it has tracks.
Yeah, I mean, exactly, it has tracks. Or I mean, every photo, like, you look at it and it's not like, oh yeah, I can tell you exactly what that is, no problem, because it looks like that plus, like, a little tiny something on top. It's definitely doing its own thing. So
oh yeah, and I'm trying to make visuals, you know what I'm saying, in certain things right now, so that's a fun thing. I've never been a clown guy. You know what I mean?
I no, I'm right there with you. I could care less about clowns. So
yeah, I mean, it's not my top choice.
From the industry, you got to make it in clown. You know what I'm saying?
Well, in that case, if we're really doing Malice, then don't make any clowns.
And be a real Malice.
Make 0 clowns. Be like, you got to sign a contract that you'll never make a clown with this animal if you're going to buy it.
That's also a good thing too for when eventually you do start releasing animals, because that's a project that's probably not tapped yet, and that's other people can do that.
Well, I mean, it looked like there was a clown pied in there, so I think it's coming.
Right, but you get what I'm saying. It's not.
Yeah. It's not the main focus of what you're doing with it. Yeah.
I'm more excited about the hypo stuff, to be honest.
That's what I'm excited about. I'm excited about cryptic and hypo, hypo and cryptic. Those 2 things.
I got you covered.
Yeah. So what are we going to see in the future?
Some hypo stuff.
Okay.
Some more combos. I'm still, there are more complexes to put it to.
Right.
The 8-ball complex, I gotta put it to, my favorite tri-stripe, I gotta, there's a couple of more complexes that it has to touch. Even though I
Oh
know
yeah.
it's not a lilac with them, you know, I gotta do some more work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's the
Yeah.
fun part for me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You got to do the work.
Boo clown.
So what do y'all think about it? What do you think about it, Thomi?
What do I think about the project? You know what I think
Yeah.
about it. I'm in love with the project. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about like I that's why I get on the phone with you and I'm like, hey, I was thinking about I saw this picture and I was thinking about this and I saw this and I was thinking about that. Because I mean it excites me. Like I don't know what to expect from it because I don't think anybody could at this point because it's doing
Yeah.
all kinds of crazy stuff. But I'm really excited about it for sure.
Cool.
For sure.
I personally think it's awesome.
Yeah.
And I can see like it sustaining a good future for a long time.
And I love that it's an incomplete dominant because
Yes.
fast results. I get to see it now. See it now. I want to see it now.
Yeah.
And then yeah, and and then it's going to show up in the recessive. So I mean, I'm just excited that I get to see so much so quickly. So for sure. So I'm not looking at a drawer full of like things that are like, yeah, this is het this and this is het that. Like, okay, I have that already.
No, I really like the effects, especially with the yellow belly. Just blows my mind. And yellow belly is one of my favorite incompletes of all time. Like people can say like and I hear a lot of people say, well, no, go with asphalt, go with gravel. Nah, I stick with yellow belly a lot. I think yellow belly by itself produces better results.
Yes.
Yeah. A nice line of yellow belly looks really good. I like the stuff where you can look at the single gene and you're like, yes, that's a yellow belly because it's out there, but not the thing that is like, well, if I turn it upside down, there's a little tiny checkerboard down here. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'm never gonna see that. It's laying on it. So
hey y'all, and don't think that it's gonna stop there. Like I said, that's an avenue I'm trying to create. So I'm literally I'm enjoying this going to Ian's and raiding his shop for what I think are dinkers and probable dinkers and things of that nature. So if anybody out there, is looking for dinkers or something like that, don't be afraid to hit me up.
where did they find you? Tell them where to find you.
Morph Minded 1, as in the number, on Instagram, and I'm, easy to talk to. Ain't nothing. I respond.
Yeah.
I might have to hit you up on that. I have one Togo import that I've been working. The original one had passed away, but I do have its siblings, and it tested for yellow belly with some caveats. I'll get into that after the show with you.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
But from Togo.
Awesome.
From Togo.
I like that.
From
when
Togo.
we know the place. Because I'm telling you, we'll talk about the locale thing. We'll talk about that.
I mean, the locale thing's interesting too, because I've heard from other people that, although now like I didn't pay it any second mind. At one point, I had heard whispers of Enchi actually being a locality, but obviously, I don't think that's true.
Voltas,
Yeah,
Volta is for sure.
Yeah.
No, in Togo would be right.
I mean, well, it's right next to Benin, like this, but more like sometimes the land will isolate creatures, like land isolated the Voltas. You know what I mean? I've noticed certain animals from certain places. I don't know if I said it earlier. Their eyes are larger, and I think that's because of the night vision. They probably have to be a bit more careful, or because they're wild animals. You understand what I'm saying? So
that's interesting.
I've noticed that a lot of the females are shorter and thicker outside of the Voltas. Most of them are shorter and thicker. Like that, you would look at this snake and be like, "You're not 1,700 grams. You're 1,700 grams." I think
I'm from that. I'm from that. That's my locale, also shorter and thicker.
See, it's something about that. But yeah, there are locales there.
No, do you think the maybe the Volta is bigger because there's more food availability, or is that
Different.
Maybe
Probably
not.
different. It's different. A
Just
different
different
type
region.
of rodent. A different type
They're
of
eating
rodent.
those Gambian
Right.
pouched rats out there. Those things are like the size of rabbits.
Different. Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just
Yeah.
know that
Eliza
Malice
is
and
something
Cassie are
coming up
from
too.
Benin.
Yeah,
and
yeah, that's a
Cassie.
fact. I'm telling you, I like the snakes from Benin. But yeah, that
Mhm.
it's I'm trying something different, y'all. Just be a little bit patient, but we're gonna get some dinkers rolling out there. I'm gonna be showing them off and stuff like that.
Awesome. Awesome.
I'm certainly
Thank
excited in the direction you're going. You know, we talk, so I get to see.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for having me.
Yeah,
You know
no
what I'm
problem.
saying?
It
I
was
appreciate
great. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it so much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I feel like I was just talking to friends. You know what I mean?
Good. Yeah, I'm glad that I was able to make you feel comfortable, even if I was nervous ahead of time, as per usual.
See, wasn't that bad, right?
No, I don't think so.
Nah.
It's
All right,
episode
guys.
2.
Episode
was a
2,
lot of
signing
fun.
off. Yeah.
All right, we'll see you guys later.
Take care, guys.
Hey. Morph map. Let's go. Let's go. Morph map, making moves, making morphs. Mark the morphs, track the traits, map the path. Mix them, match them, mastermind the morph flow. Mapping bloodlines, making clutches grow. Morph map, making moves, making morphs. Mark the morphs, track the traits, map the path. Mix them, match them, mastermind the morph flow. Mapping bloodlines, making clutches grow. Morph map.